Welcome back to Painting Lines. This week we're going to be talking about maybe the strangest tournament in tennis, which is the Laver Cup. I mean, technically it's an exhibition, but there are $250,000 in prize money for each player on the winning team. But honestly, what stands out to me is the weird picks for who plays and who doesn't, particularly on Team World. I also just wanted to say, if you enjoy these videos, please like and let us know any comments or thoughts you may have. Anyway, before we jump in, I just wanted to ask you, Eric, do you have any thoughts about this kind of period after the US Open? Like, is it a positive to have this downtime? Or do you think it's a negative to have this kind of gap area before we have the last run of indoor stuff to close out the year?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a weird time because it feels like what should be the culmination of a season. Like, right, the end of the US Open, it's the end of Slam season. It's kind of like the Super Bowl where it's the biggest event and then everything stops. But instead, it's not the end. It's kind of like an intermission, almost like the MLB or the NBA All-Star game, where it's just like a break 3 quarters through the way of the season. So I feel like there's still a lot of tennis to be played. There's the whole indoor season. So honestly, I think it's a positive because it gives like the top guys a chance to kind of rest, recover, maybe sit out a bit if they want, but also give the lower ranked guys a chance to play in some of these 250s, maybe make a title run, earn some prize money. So overall, I think it's positive to have, a couple weeks where, yeah, you can enjoy the Laver Cup too for the top guys who don't need to play as competitive tennis, have some fun, let loose. So overall positive.
Yeah, I also kind of wonder if it's like a remnant from the older era of tennis where like maybe they didn't have that many indoor tournaments. And so the season kind of did culminate with the US Open. It was the last big outdoor tournament of the year. And then as you kind of went into winter, they just kind of had a few small tournaments.
Yeah, that's probably the case, and which makes sense why they decided to stick the Laver Cup, right where it is, just kind of during that off time, so they can get all these good players. But no Sinner, huh? Couldn't get him.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's just not as popular in San Francisco because they're mad at his doping still.
Yeah, maybe he didn't make the cut either.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's what it was. They were like, he's not good enough. But
Yeah.
Opelka is.
Well, Opelka was Team World.
That's true. That's true. Anyway, let's just hop right into the tournament. Let's start off with the format of this tournament. I think we've talked about it in the past, but it's a 3 day tournament, and there's requirements for players to play a certain number of matches, and you can only play a certain number of doubles matches and stuff like that. It's progressive points. So Friday you get 1 point per match, Saturday it's 2 points, and then Sunday, with the chance for massive comebacks, you get 3 points per match. It's first to 13, so it guarantees at least one important match on Sunday if the other team is dominating. Just a brief history of the tournament. It's only been around for a few years. Team Europe won the first four, including completely dominating in 2021, winning 14-1. Team World won the next two, including they had their own dominating year in 2023, winning 13-2. Then 2024 was super close. Team Europe won 13-11. And then 2025, obviously, this year. So kind of expected to be pretty close given how close it was last year. Then jumping over to the teams, we had Team Europe, which was Alcaraz, Zverev, Rune, Rude, Mensik, and Kaboli, captained by Yannick Noah and Tim Henman. And then on Team World, we had Fritz, Deminar, Sarundalo, Mickelson, Fonseca, and Opelka. And their captains were Agassi and Pat Rafter. And based on these, it felt to me like Team Europe had the clear advantage. Like, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, just going back to what you were saying before, I feel like there was a lot of hype around this Laver Cup, and the fact that it was so close last year, I think made a lot of people more interested in it this year. And yeah, I was stunned by Team World, honestly. When I saw the picture, I think I texted you like, what is up with this team? It looks pretty bad on paper. I mean, Opelka, I don't know how they decided to choose him, but I'm assuming it had to do with Agassi being the captain and favoring American players. I know, what was he ranked? Like 60,
60 something,
60?
62?
Yeah, 62. So not sure how that one happened. Maybe for doubles. Does that make sense if he's a doubles guy?
Yeah, but if it was a doubles guy, wouldn't you think you would pick a specific like doubles player? It doesn't make
Yeah.
sense to me because it's like, given the fact that he is ranked number 62 and he gets the chance to play for $250,000, like, why does someone else not get that opportunity? I mean, I understand it like Mickelson, Fonseca, Mensik, maybe they aren't like the top guys in the world, but like they still like are very high ranked and very young guys. So they're guys that maybe in the future could be even higher ranked. Opelka's not a super young dude. He's just a random choice, it feels like.
Yeah, I feel like he's just pretty well connected and got lucky here. I mean, I'm also thinking maybe Tommy Paul was selected originally. I know he and Tommy Paul are really good friends, so maybe Tommy, you could do like a little switcheroo, like, hey, I can't make it, but Riley will take my place.
Yeah, maybe something like that
Like,
happened. I
yeah,
don't
that's
know.
the only thing I can think of that would make plausible sense.
Yeah, pretty strange.
But I don't know, Fonseca though, I don't think that was a great choice either.
Well, why not? I feel like he's a very like we talked about last week, ton of hype behind him, and he's a super young player. I think guys would want to see him. Like he's maybe a draw for people wanting to see Fonseca play.
Yeah, okay. If you're trying to sell tickets, he's the guy, but I think other people on World got snubbed, if
Yeah,
that
no,
makes
they definitely
sense.
got snubbed, but it's like it's an exhibition. It is about like the draw. I mean, that's why again, Opelka seems like a confusing pick. It's like I don't know
Hmm.
anybody that's a massive Opelka fan.
Yeah, I don't I don't know either, but also Cerundolo too.
Yeah, Sarundolo is a very high level player though, right? Like
Yeah.
he's one of the top guys in the world.
Hmm.
Anyway, let's get into how the matches ended up going. So let's start off day one. Team Europe had the advantage. They win three wins, one loss. I think the match of the day was Mensik having a clutch win over Mickelson. Went to a third set, and they only play a 10-point tiebreak, and Mensik ended up taking it 10-8. And then on day two, Team World actually dominated, won every match. And honestly, in a normal tournament, this would have been a pretty shocking day, just given the upsets that happened. But it feels a lot less so because it is an exhibition. And speaking first on the highest level in terms of ranking upset was Fritz beating Alcaraz. And this was an interesting one because it actually counts on their head to head on the ATP website, which was a little weird to me. Like, what do you think about that?
Yeah, that was his first time beating Alcaraz too, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so I don't think this should count, at least on the head-to-head for the ATP website, just because this isn't, they're not getting ATP points for this. So I feel like it's kind of it's I guess not fair, but I mean it makes sense because I guess they want players to try their hardest, and I don't know, maybe the ATP website isn't like, I'm curious to see what other head-to-heads they count. If it's like other non-sanctioned, like Six King Slam, that wouldn't count, would
It
it?
wasn't.
For
No, I mean,
head-to-head?
it definitely like it wasn't last year. But
Yeah.
then like this is it's very weird because it's like this is the only. It feels more like it's the only ATP sanctioned exhibition.
Yeah. Does Davis Cup count head-to-head?
So Davis Cup actually does count as well. So I guess that also is considered a non meaningless tournament.
Yeah, I feel like there should be asterisks on those because when I look at a head and I see like, oh, 4 or 5 or something, but then I look deeper in and one of those wins is a Davis Cup or a Laver Cup, I don't take it as seriously.
Yeah, 100%. But anyway, let's jump into the next upset, which was Sarundalo beating Runa. So this is one where it would be considered an upset. I think that obviously Runa isn't as big of an upset as Alcaraz is because with Runa, he loses some every once in a while, but definitely still would be an upset. And then the last one, probably the most surprising to me, was Deminar beating Zverev.
Yeah, definitely an upset or definitely a surprise with Cerundolo because I was just kind of sizing him earlier, saying how did they pick Cerundolo? But I guess it worked out because he beat Runa, and then Deminar beating Zverev was probably the last upset I had on my radar here because I feel like Zverev is so consistent. So is Deminar. Don't get me wrong, but Zverev is so consistent. I feel like over like the period of a match, he would just make less errors. He would kind of wear down Deminar. They both have similar playing styles, but kudos to Deminar here. I mean, like Zverev is not an easy guy to beat by any means, and I feel like that matchup right there was one where Team World was like, "Hey, this is a big one. You guys got to get it, or you got to get it done," and he did. So he really picked up his team on that.
100%. And then moving on to day three, Team Europe brought it back. I mean, they won the first match and the third match of the day, brought it to 9-12. So that meant if they won the final match, it would be 12-12, and there would be a tiebreak match, which I don't think has ever happened before in the Laver Cup. Maybe it has, but I don't remember it. Unfortunately, they had Zverev versus Fritz, which hasn't been a great matchup for Zverev. He's lost his last 5 entering this match, and like the pattern has shown, it continued. I mean, Fritz got the dub, took it for Team World, and really just locked it up there in a matchup where Zverev isn't favored, but he is still the higher ranked player.
Yeah. So do you know how they pick the matches? Is it the coaches setting them up
I
or
believe they picked the matches the day before.
well, this has got to be poor coaching on Team Europe to put Zverev up against Fritz, or does it not work like that? I guess they wouldn't know that Fritz is playing, right?
Exactly. I think it's more
Okay.
like they
You save
pick
your okay.
players for each match, right? They're like, okay, we have one doubles match and we're going to have this guy play and we're going to have him playing the first match of the day and we're going to have Zverev playing the last match. And then Team World goes out there and they're like, okay, we're going to have Deminar playing the first match of the day and we're going to have Fritz playing the last match or something like that. I'm not 100% sure how that aspect works, but I would assume it isn't like they just get together and say, hey, let's match up these two guys.
Yeah, no, that would make sense just because, well, one team doesn't just post whoever they're playing, and then the other team gets to strategize and put guys against it that they think would, match up well. So, either way, though, great for Deminar.
100%. Great for Team World in general, right?
Yep.
And then there's one other aspect I kind of want to talk about, which is who played the best in this tournament. And for playing the best, I think I have a top 3 because we have Fritz, who did lose his doubles match, but did beat Alcaraz and Zverev, so 2 massive singles wins. We had Deminar, who won every match he played in both singles and doubles. And then we have Alcaraz, who played 4 matches, which is actually more than Deminar and Fritz. Went 1-1 in singles, but won both of his doubles matches. So all of those guys made a big, massive positive impact on their team.
Yeah, this is such a good question. I am putting Alcaraz also kind of third best just because they didn't win. And then Deminar, like you can't ask for a better performance. He just got it done. But then, yeah, first you got to put Fritz because he ended up actually winning the whole thing for Team World. So Fritz and Deminar, shout out to them.
Yeah, and probably beat the 2 most difficult opponents on Team Europe.
Yeah, yeah, man, I can't believe he lost his doubles match. That would have been a no-brainer who played the best if he did that, if he
Yeah.
won.
And then honestly, on the worst side, I feel like Zverev stands out as bad. Like you have guys like Kaboli who went in there, played 1 match and lost, but Zverev had 2 singles matches, neither was super close, and lost both of them.
Yeah, did you see that clip where he was sitting down and Alcaraz was trying to coach him and he was saying like, "Oh, you just got to go after it like 2, 3 points, then be aggressive." And then Zverev just kind of looked back. He's like, "Hey, Casper, come here." And then Casper like ran over. He's like, "Hey, what would you do on the return?" And Casper just goes, "Man, I would just fucking go for it." It
Yeah,
was so funny.
I feel like it's kind of a situation where Zverev like doesn't want to hear it from
From
Alcaraz just
Alcaraz, yeah.
because he's like, dude, I'm like 6 years older than you, right?
Yeah.
But
Well, we've talked about this.
it's also like Zverev, you're not as good of a player as Alcaraz.
Yes, yes. I feel like we talked about this before where Zverev kind of has to put Alcaraz in his place, like in the media and just out in public because he wants to kind of keep that like leg up on him just because he
Yeah,
hasn't done it on the court.
yeah. I think he's probably embarrassed, and I
Yeah.
understand why.
Yeah. Yeah. I just thought it was funny. Like Casper ran over there like a little waiter.
Yeah, he's like, oh, what do you need?
Yeah. Oh, is that your Norwegian accent, Aiden?
I mean, that was just my random European accent.
Uh,
Yeah, but anyway, you ready to hop into segments here?
yeah, let's do it. Hey guys, before we jump in, we have some exciting news. We recently partnered with TruePro. They're a great place to buy strings, grips, and tennis apparel. Use discount code Painting Lines, that's one word, for 20% off store wide. You can find the link in our bio.
Alrighty, what's new in tennis? What'd you see this week?
So I saw Stefanos Tsitsipas is replacing Jack Draper in the Six King Slam because Draper obviously had to withdraw because of injury. And I think this is such a joke because you have the top 5 guys and then it just goes to 27 with Tsitsipas. Like I don't get this. He gets $1.5 million too just for showing up and playing. Winner gets 6 million as we know from last year. So just surprised that you got Sinner, Alcaraz, Djokovic, same guys from last year, and then Zverev, Fritz, and then now Tsitsipas.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I mean, who would be number 7? Would it be like Musetti maybe?
Yeah, I feel like just like Musetti, even Casper Ruud, maybe I don't know, someone more entertaining too. Like maybe not a Riley Opelka, but this
Yeah.
is what it kind of feels like.
Yeah. I mean, why don't you throw in someone that like even honestly like an FAA? FAA just had a
Yeah.
massive run, has a lot of hype behind him, but and he at least plays with like an interesting like game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tsitsipas,
Yeah.
you're just guaranteeing an immediate loss, right?
Yeah. And is a bad attitude too.
Exactly,
So,
exactly.
but let me ask you this. Are you taking Medvedev or Tsitsipas? Like if it was up to those two.
Probably Medvedev,
I
to be
think Medvedev
honest.
because he's more of a competitor too.
Exact. I mean, I just think if you of these two guys, he's even with Medvedev playing as bad as he has recently, he's still significantly better than Tsitsipas.
Exactly. And this Six King Slam, like for being an exhibition, I think it's supposed to reward the top six guys for doing well this year. And then Tsitsipas just gets in and makes 1.5 million.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird because like last year, it felt like it was like the top guys, and then you had like Nadal and
Mm,
Djokovic. And then you go on this year and it's like, okay, it's just the top guys. So it feels like kind of just a preview of what the ATP finals is going to look like.
yeah. Yeah. Just pretty funny that they chose him. But anyway, what about you? What did you see this week?
I saw that speaking of guys withdrawing, Shelton withdraws from Tokyo.
Mm.
Really not a good sign for his ATP finals hopes, because if he misses like a lot of the Asian swing here, he may be leaving all of his hopes for that Paris and indoor Europe swing, which I think is just a lot of pressure for those last few tournaments.
Yeah, I'm hoping this is more of a preventative measure where he's healed, but he's not ready to come back versus like, hey, this thing is still a very serious injury and it's not healed yet. So
100%. Yeah, that's definitely the hope for sure.
yeah, yeah. Because remember, we had him probably as one of those like fringe guys on the ATP finals for the Road to Turin.
Well, honestly, I feel like he was pretty solidly in. I think he was like 5, right? But
Yeah,
the
yeah.
issue is like if he that was based on him continuing to play, right? If he's injured and he
Hmm.
isn't playing in any tournament, that's definitely going to push him down towards that fringe area.
Yeah, bummer. Big bummer there.
Yeah, how
Especially
about
didn't he had a good Asian swing last year, I believe.
I know in
Or maybe not.
2023, I think he
Maybe
won
that was his
Tokyo,
breakout. Yeah.
but I don't remember exactly how he did last year.
Yeah. The older you get, the years just kind of merge together.
Exactly, exactly. How about bet of the week?
Bet of the week, I'm going with a two-leg parlay. I'm going with Musetti over Tabilo and then Bublik over Royer. This is the Chengdu final and the Hangzhou final. So that is minus 139 separately. So Musetti's a minus 275 favorite, and then Bublik is a minus 380. So just going with the favorites. I feel like Bublik has had a very good year. I think he's played well in finals too. He's able to close it out. Musetti, I'm a little nervous about, especially just because he plays great tennis, but I feel like when he gets to the point where he's got to close it out and win a title, he may not be as confident, but we'll see.
Yeah,
Just going with the
Bublik.
parlay to juice the odds.
Bublik is just the merchant of those little 250
Oh
tournaments.
my
Like he
God,
shows
I
up and
know.
just wins it, and you're like, dude, I feel like sometimes you're just not there. But honestly, he's played a lot better this year, been a lot more consistent. So a
Yeah, I
little
know.
bit
And at
more
these,
makes
yeah, he's like
sense.
always the top seed at these tournaments too, which is hilarious because he's probably like a what, solid 20s, 30s guy.
I mean, right now, I feel like he's in the top 20, right?
Let me see. He is 19. Yeah, you're right.
Exactly. So, I mean, he's had a very solid year.
Well, he's got a stereotype. I feel like I just stereotyped him as being like a 20 to 40 type of guy.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he's made that step up and now he's a 10 to 30 guy.
Yeah, hopefully. What about you? Who are you taking this week?
I'm going with Mochizuki plus 245 over Rude in Tokyo. I'm just going with part of it from last week. I made the jet lag bet, didn't actually work out, but I think Rude has a long flight from SF to Tokyo. And Mochizuki is Japanese, so he's not only already probably used to being there, he has the support of the fans. He also made a great run in 2023 where he beat Fritz. And so he has some experience of doing well here in the past. So I think that combined with the fact that Rude is known for some early losses could be a positive for him here.
Yeah, I kind of like this. Do you know the head to head? Have they played before?
Don't
Or
know it off the
no?
top of my head. No.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see Rude going down here.
Yeah, I made the choice without knowing if they've played in the past, and Ruud
I
beat him
love it. Just
0-0.
go with the home favorite jet lag play. Boom.
Exactly. Not the jet lag play has worked in the past, but still got to go with it.
Yeah.
And then how about a match of the week? What'd you go for here?
Match of the week. I did a Shangdu match, so I went with Shevchenko taking down Mpeshi Pericard 6-7, 7-6, 6-4. So these are both younger guys on tour that I really like. I enjoy watching them. I like rooting for them. So this was one where I was happy with the outcome regardless, just wanted good tennis. And I love watching GMP because it just feels nostalgic when he brings back the serve and volley. Love seeing that. And then Shevchenko, I saw him in Paris when I went to the French Open 2 years ago, and I just love his raw emotion and personality that he shows on the court. And I saw it in this match too. So GMP ended up taking the first set in a tight tiebreaker. Shevchenko battled back second set, won the tiebreaker, and just let out a massive roar and like tried to pump up the crowd too with his arms. And mind you, this is a Chinese crowd, an Asian crowd, so they don't really get as rowdy as, say, an American crowd. So it was good to see just him like getting into it with the fans, being able to kind of juice them up because it makes tennis way more interesting when the crowd's involved, in my opinion. Anyway, he ended up getting a break in the third set and closed it out 6-4, just routine.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of crowd getting into it, do you see that Medvedev match? I feel like the crowd
Um,
definitely helped out Yi Bing Wu in that match.
yeah, that was unreal. That if we had a like worst match of the week, that would have been mine.
Yeah, I
Or
mean,
like
because
choke of the
it
week.
felt more like a collapse than a comeback from
Yeah,
Wu there.
exactly. It just goes to show you the mental state that Medvedev is in right now.
Yeah, 100%.
What about you? What was your match of the week?
I'm actually going with a doubles match from the Laver Cup,
Ooh,
with
I
which
love
was
that.
Mickelson Deminar versus Runa and Ruud. Uh, and while it wasn't the closest scoreline, it had some of the most insane doubles points I've ever seen. Uh, there were multiple points where like the net guy just got the ball smashed at him and somehow just like deflected it back and seemed like pure luck, but managed to hit like either a winner or a shot that led to them winning the point. Uh, Overall, it's a lot of entertaining points. And honestly, one thing that stood out was that both sets ended in really interesting ways. The first set, Deminar got a ball like smashed at him, and he like blocked his face with his racket.
Mhm.
And as he did that, the ball just kind of bounced off and just dinked down for a winner right over the net, which was insane. Agassi had a crazy reaction to it. And then the last point of the match, Deminar gets an overhead and he like goes up to hit it, and then he just like barely taps it over the net, which was pretty funny. Drop shot winner. But overall, just really entertaining to watch.
Yeah, I love that doubles play. I gotta say, I'm a newfound doubles fan. Like just watching it in person at the US Open was a great, watching it at Wimbledon. And then honestly, yeah, you were right. These were a lot of fun matches to watch. Like the doubles points were crazy. I think Alcaraz may have had the shot of the tournament too, with like an insane drop shot that was literally impossible to return because it was so close to the net
Yeah, I
or
mean,
drop volley.
you get those weird points because the guy's so ready at the net, and so
Yeah.
they can hit really good volleys.
Yeah, and I did see I was watching some highlights earlier. I saw Rude tried to go with like a between the leg shot and then Opelka just smashed it on him.
He's like, it's not going to work on me.
Yeah. Yeah, when that happens, you just gotta smile and be like, yeah, did it for the crowd.
Exactly.
All right, and that's the show. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube at Painting Lines Podcast. Feel free to shoot us a DM or email us any questions or thoughts at paintinglinespodcast@gmail.com.